I don't know what to say. Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today we'll be recapping the New York Jets Week 1 game against the Buffalo Bills. But before we get started, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So this game started out with Buffalo marching right down the field, or so we thought. They moved the ball very well against the New York Jets secondary, a theme which we're going to talk a lot about in today's video. But then the New York Jets created one of their first 4 turnovers in this game. Jordan Jenkins with the strip sack, and the New York Jets were able to recover. The Jets stall, go 3 and out, and then punt it right back to the Buffalo Bills. A really good punt by Lachlan Edwards, by the way. Then Josh Allen would turn the ball over for the second time. A pick six. CJ Mosley, welcome to New York. Pick six, Jets go up 6-0, looking to make it 7-0, but then, oh yeah, I forgot, the Jets' kicking situation is downright terrible. They missed the extra point, so it'll be a 6-0 lead. Some things we noticed in the first, obviously, Jamison Crowder was on his game today, and Sam seemed to be very comfortable with him. Also, the patience of Le'Veon Bell is something unbelievable to watch, and that was one of the few bright sides from today's game. So 6-0 after 1. Offensive line got off to a really slow start, and then it did not look good at all today. Khalil was very bad in his Jets debut, got a couple bad penalties, got blown off the ball, and the Jets offense just couldn't hold up. They let up a ton of sacks. In the second, this was the first of a couple of misses to Robbie Anderson down the field. This one not necessarily Darnold's fault. I'd put this one more on Anderson. Deep ball in the end zone. Anderson doesn't go up for it. If he does, I think that's an easy touchdown. But he doesn't jump, hits him, and the defender, I forget who was defending him at the time, was able to get his hand in there and knock it away at last second, but Anderson did beat Buffalo down the field. We would have 2 more turnovers from Josh Allen. He would have another fumble on 4th and short, and then an interception. Neville Hewitt picks him off this time, and it would set up a Jets field goal before the half. Could they go up 9-0? No, missed wide right. Not even remotely close. Vedvik was terrible today and is likely going to be cut, and the Jets will look for another new kicker. So 6-0 at the half. The Jets get the ball to start the third. Nothing doing on offense. Again, another punt. Ton of punts in this game for the New York Jets. But this time, the Jets would capitalize on defense, forcing a safety. They had Buffalo pushed way back on their own goal line, and the Jets were able to stuff the run thanks to Brian Poole and Jamal Adams penetrating that offensive line. So the Jets go up 8-0, and then they're getting the ball back, and they go on this really long drive, and it looks like Ryan Griffin scores a walk-in touchdown. Sam made a really interesting play. It was an RPO that was completely gone wrong. It looked like he was going to run it in, so the receivers start blocking, but then he decides, you know what, I'm going to throw the ball, dumps it off to a wide-open Ryan Griffin who walks into the end zone. They review it, and they're able to see that it is pass interference offensively, so that comes off the board. So now what we get is a Le'Veon Bell touchdown, which is good. We want to see that. So Sam hits him on a little out, and he turns up the field on the left sideline on a 9-yard scoring play. So now the Jets have a decision. Do you go for 1 or do you go for 2? They decide to go for 2, and it looks like a complete broken play. Shades of Sam Darnold late in the year in Buffalo last year. He scrambles around, schoolyard play, lofts it up. Somehow Le'Veon Bell comes down with it in the right corner of the end zone. The Jets are up 16-0, and it looks like they're in control. Then CJ Mosley gets hurt, and the defense completely falls apart. The Bills settle for a field goal. Josh Allen was almost intercepted for the 3rd time. Marcus May almost got him, was lucky, so that would have been his 5th turnover of the day. He was shaky. He was very shaky. He didn't look very good, but he was able to capitalize on the Jets' awful secondary in the 4th quarter, which we're going to get to now. So CJ Mosley leaves with a groin injury, putting in Blake Cashman. So now your starting 2 inside linebackers are Blake Cashman and Neville Hewitt. Gross. Jermaine Johnson also was getting cooked in the second half. Dow Roberts was terrible. And then Brian Poole leaves with an injury. Now you enter in Mollett. So on the next possession, Buffalo goes right down the field, makes it 16-10. Jets offense going back to work. And I'm using work in air quotes because nothing was working on offense for the New York Jets today. Jets punt again, and this time Buffalo goes right down the field, and Josh Brown beats Dow Roberts on the left sideline to go up 17-16. So after being up 16-0, the Jets give up 17 unanswered points. Going to have another final drive. The Jets would end up picking up a first down. Le'Veon Bell with a great play. Again, Sam Darnold misses Robbie Anderson open down the left sideline twice on the final drive, and the Jets would end up turning it over on downs, and they would lose 17-16 in opening week. An absolutely disgusting performance from the New York Jets to start off their season. Offensively, like I said all along, they couldn't do a thing all day. Adam Gase had an awful game plan. They didn't force the ball down the field at all. Sam Darnold had 4.5 yards per attempt, which is gross. He was 18 of 41 with a touchdown and 186 yards. That's not nearly enough. He wasn't all that great. They were going up against the number 2 defense from last year, but still not a great sign from Sam Darnold and Adam Gase today. He was definitely a little bit rusty, and that offensive line was extremely rusty. Bell had a pretty solid day, had 92 all-purpose yards. He was good, but it was all him and Crowder. That was the only 2 people involved offensively. Anderson was open a couple times, couldn't get hit, dropped, not necessarily dropped, but did not catch a ball in the end zone that probably should have been caught. Enunwa didn't have a good game, and nobody else really did anything offensively. Crowder had 14 receptions. 14! Half of Sam Darnold's completions went to Jamison Crowder, and the other 6 went to Le'Veon Bell. So 71% of Sam Darnold's completions went to either Le'Veon Bell or Jamison Crowder. That's focusing in way too much on only 2 players. The Jets have to spread the ball around, and they did an awful job of doing that. It's almost like Adam Gase parlayed Peyton Manning being good into 2 head coaching jobs, which is something that I said 6 months ago when the hire was made. Not a great day for Adam Gase and his explosive offense. Buffalo, despite all their turnovers, capitalized on the Jets' awful secondary. Someone on my preview video said that I watched or listened to too much of the media when talking about the Jets secondary when I said that they'd be the worst unit on the field. I mean, if today doesn't prove what we've already known, then I don't know what else I could possibly say to you people watching these videos, because I don't know what to say. They have no depth, which it came back to bite them with those injuries when guys left. Offensive line didn't play together at all throughout the preseason. That showed. Sam Darnold wasn't great, but I wouldn't necessarily say he got outplayed by Josh Allen, because at the same time, Allen had 4, probably should have been 5 turnovers in the game. He ended up throwing for 250 yards, but it was against an awful defense and an awful depleted secondary. These are the issues that I was talking about with the Jets all offseason long. Their secondary, their kicking game, the offensive line, and potentially the head coach, because he didn't have a good day in his Jets debut. He absolutely did not. Next week, the Jets will be playing against a beat-up Cleveland Browns team. They got their doors blown off by Tennessee. They're going to be hungry. It's not an easy matchup. They're a team that could spread the Jets out, and we saw how Buffalo had success doing that, and they don't have the offensive talent that Cleveland does. Granted, they looked awful today, Cleveland, so maybe the Jets win. I didn't expect them to when I went through. I did expect the Jets to win this game, though. And you have a real tough stretch of games now, because you have Cleveland, you have the Patriots twice, you have Dallas, and you have the Eagles. You could be looking at 1-5 after those games, and that's not what you want to start your season, especially if you had any inkling of hopes to make the playoffs. But right now, those are the games you have to win. If you create 4 turnovers, you have to win that game. And the Jets were just not good enough, and that's why all offseason long, again, I didn't have them at 9 or 10 wins, because they lose games like this. And until they prove that they are not going to lose games like this, then they are a 6, 7, maybe ceiling 8-win team. So we're going to have to see. If you like the video, not that if you're a Jets fan that you like this content, but at least maybe you can rant about them in the comments. How about that? That seems like a fair trade-off. Like the video, comment below with anything. You can get at me on social media. I live gift and live tweeted the games on Twitter, so follow me there. And on my other social media platforms at Matt O'Leary NY. Tough loss. Tough loss, guys. More content this week. More reactionary stuff to this game, but ugly start for the New York Jets. 0-1 on the season. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you guys next time.